Hello everyone, the third game from Grand Strategy Bundle by Paradox Games, Paradox Development, Paradox Interactive, whatever, Paradox in general. Hearts of Iron 4 this time, and we are going to assess the tutorial. I have, again, little experience, so I'm in general noob, so-called noob or wannabe player of that grand strategy game, and we are going to compare it with Victoria 3 and Stellaris, and I think I will not touch anything else, but we will see. So let's jump into tutorial and let's experience that, how user-friendly it is, the introduction, whether it's user-friendly. Sip of coffee, and we have tutorial. Well, it loaded quite quickly, which is cool. Of course, there will be a lot of reading, so yeah, brace yourself, guys. Welcome to Hoi 4. You will be taking charge of Italy during the period leading up to the war. Reading the tooltips will help you to understand things as you play, so it is recommended that you make good use of them. This is pretty obvious, right? Start by dealing with the alerts at the top of the screen. Okay, we have that beginner's guide on Hoi 4 wiki, we are not going to get into that. And objectives, we need 20 military factories, 21 civilian factories, and we have 10 already. 15 naval dockyards, national focus is set, division is queued for deployment, and 4 technologies are researching. Okay, we are going to minimize that, and they told us to take a look at all those hints. I don't know how to call them, whatever. Tabs, let's call them tabs. This is the research screen. Okay, so in Victoria 3, when we put a cursor on either orange, yellow, and other colors, remember, it's going to show up some pop-up screen. Here we don't have that. So we would need to go to wiki, which I don't like. This is the research screen. You have a number of research slots that each can research a technology. Click them, unless we can click it. No, it also doesn't work. Click the empty research slot to select something to research. Countries have a different amount of research slots, with major powers usually having more. It is possible to unlock an additional slot through national focuses. National focus will be covered by another alert and another time. And the objective is to research support weapons, first grade, first level, electronic mechanical engineering, basic machine tools, and construction 1. Okay, and it's already highlighted. Yeah, so we have support weapons. All those effects, well, this is pretty straightforward comparing with Victoria 3, so it's all focused on military, which is fine. Defense, breakthrough, defense, breakthrough, defense, breakthrough, blah blah blah, for different types of infantry. Okay, so we are going to research it. It's 177 days. Half a year, that's a lot. Automatic weapons are becoming more portable. Submachine guns have already proven effective, and development of handheld support weapons must continue. I do agree. Okay, another slot, and we are going to find what? Electronic mechanical engineer. Oh, it's also highlighted here, which is kind of cool. And here we have it. Electronic mechanical engineering. That's a research speed. Love it. Boom. What's next? I think here. It. Go over there. Oh, here we have it. Basic machine tools. Production efficiency cap plus 10%. Of course. And construction also. Well, it looks like if it's the same for each and every faction, then it's quite repeatable, to be fair. On the other hand, what else could you figure out when the game is focused primarily on warfare on the division scale? I'm not entirely sure about... Well, okay, I'm sorry. I've noticed that I cannot use WASD, which is annoying. So, let's go back to that thought. I don't know whether a game about warfare in general, war on a strategic and operational level, should be focused primarily on divisions. Of course, well, yeah, brigade, you can form brigades too, right? But it's basically divisions, right? They are operating as divisions. And I think if it's focused on warfare, that should go down to at least battalion level. That would make a bit more sense to me. Of course, the map would be huge and very detailed, which might be a problem for developers. But looking at Crusader Kings, I doubt whether that would be a big problem, to be fair. So I don't get it. Why it's done this way. I think that the next Hoi should focus more on warfare, like go down deep, because now it's like, for me, my perspective as a beginner, it's simplified version of any other Paradox game, but it's focused more on warfare. So politics, economics, and all that stuff around is very simplified, and then you have that aspect of warfare, which is the main focus of the game, but it's also quite simplified because it's a division level. So there is some problem for me. Like either you go really hard on warfare and you go down deep into that aspect and you take care of every single detail of warfare, like Derek Rigsby series or Flashpoint campaigns and so on, and you put aside things like economics, politics, and so on. And here we have a blend of it, which is both are simplified. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it's more enjoyable, I don't know. For me, if it's a Paradox game and every game of Paradox is focused on certain aspects, I think that's why they are so good. In Hearts of Iron, I have a problem with that. Maybe that's a weird point of view, but that's what I feel. Okay, we can close it. What's next? Oh, I'm supposed to go through all those tabs. Okay, sorry. Production lines. This is the production line screen. Production lines produce the equipment needed for your war effort. It is recommended that you produce both the equipment you need now and that you might need in the future. Well, yeah, reserves are quite crucial. There are two types of production lines, military and naval. The first uses military factories and the latter uses naval dockyards. For me, obvious. The more factories are assigned to a production line, the faster it will produce the equipment you need. The production line can be created by clicking one of the 4 highlighted buttons. Okay, yeah. So artillery, armor, planes, and, well, basically all naval vessels. Once you select an equipment type, a production line will be created for that equipment type. Read the next page of this hint to see recommendations on what to produce and how many factories to assign to each production line. Okay, I will. In the image below, you can see an example of a production line with 10 military factories assigned to it. That's a basic infantry equipment as far as I see. We recommend that you also create production lines for support equipment, towed artillery, BA-65, FS class 685, well, trains, I guess, Maestrale, and convoy. Okay, this way. I can, fair enough. So let's start production of Carcano. It's going to be in built infantry and artillery equipment. Okay. And here we have Carcano M38, which requires 2 steel, and we have 76. That's a surplus. Does it mean that we will basically produce that much, right? Without import or anything. Well, we may import something. And we are supposed to assign that many factories. We have 20 in total. Okie dokie. You want support equipment, which requires some additional stuff, which is aluminium, and you need 4 factories to be satisfied to complete that tutorial. Okay. Then towed artillery, Cannone da 7527 Modelo 06. Okay, what's that, by the way? Yeah, there are different parameters like piercing, reliability, hard attack, soft attack, and so on. And that requires tungsten and steel. Do we have tungsten? We have. Only 2 though. Oh, that hurts. That's why you asked me for 2 factories only, and because we don't have enough tungsten. That's a problem. Next, you want some planes. I don't know whether splitting factories so much makes sense. Barely produces anything. It's like 3.47 artillery pieces per month. So in 10 months, we are going to create around 34 artillery pieces. This is ridiculous. It's waste of time, basically. You can lose those pieces in a minute. In thousands, you should produce in hundreds at least. Maybe not in thousands, but in hundreds. Then yeah, that would make sense. Okay, Breda BA65, that's a close air support, rubber and aluminium. Oh, we don't have rubber. Ooh, that sucks. So we will need to import it, right? Game forces us to do it. How can I create that train? Civilian train. Boom. What's that? Being stockpiled. 23. Okay. And only single factory. Oh, it only uses steel. Fair enough. And then we have dockyards. We have still 1 factory left, which we could use somewhere. Interesting. Maybe game forces us to leave it for something else. Who knows? Naval unit, build ships. Where is that Mastrale? I love those Italian names, not gonna lie. The Mastrale class 1 series. Is it that? I think so. Only requires steel. Which is cool. And 10 of them I'm supposed to assign, right? I have 15 in total. Okay, so we will build it in about a month, because that's 7th February, which is okay. And then also 1 dockyard for convoy. Where is it? Convoy. Hello. That also requires only steel. And a single dockyard. That would be it. Next, missing equipment production. National focus then? Okay. This is the national focus screen, and it allows your country to select its political goals, which will result in effects or bonuses that helps the game progress. We have highlighted a couple of national focuses for your convenience that we recommend that you start with. The reason this path is recommended is because it allows you to gain another research slot as quickly as possible, which will allow you to research 1 more technology simultaneously. Ethiopian World Logistics. Hold to pan camera. Yeah, I know. Okay. Can close it. You want me to select Ethiopian World Logistics, and that's gonna give me 1 infrastructure in Eritrea, also the naval base, or even 2. Oh, that's in Ethiopia, right? Okay. I would prefer Italian highways. It doesn't give me a research slot, unless that gives me the research slot. No? Very interesting. Where is that? Army primacy. Ministry of Italian Africa. Develop Ethiopia. Where is that? That doesn't give me a research slot. What about here? Here we have infrastructure, okay. Also no research slot. Unless here we can get it somewhere. No. Army primacy, innovations, naval power projection. Struggling in Ethiopia? No. Solid progress. Interesting. Can I open that hint? No. Can I open it once again if I click on it? Oh, I can. Oh, maybe it's down the path here. Who knows? Don't see it over there. Where is it? Building slots, infrastructure also here. Unless it opens. Oh, okay. You want to go this way, right? So either Italian highways or Ethiopian War logistics. I will. Don't give a shit about Ethiopia. I guess. Highways in Italy, though. Yeah, this is a way to go. Absolutely. I'm in. Infrastructure construction speed plus 25%. This is crucial. Please, that's what I think. Okay, production lines. That's what we read already. No divisions in basic training. That's the next hint. Recruit and deploy. This is the recruit and deploy screen. This is where you QE new divisions for training and later on deployment. We recommend that you add a division di Fanteria. Division to the QE. Divisione di Fanteria. Okay, to the QE. Division in training will first attempt to gather the equipment they require. Once they have equipment, they will begin their training. Training progress can never exceed equipment progress. Okay, well, that makes sense unless it's Polish army. Yeah. Click the train button to add a division for training. Once division have completed their training, they can be deployed to a location of your choice. You may only deploy divisions in your core territory. Divisione di Fanteria. What's inside that division? So we have Is it brigade? Well, okay, so those are, I mean, division is split on brigades, so those are battalions. Yeah, this is a battalion. Okay, makes sense. So we have 2 brigades, 3 battalions. Okay, so pretty small divisions, I would say, unless battalions are big. Oh yeah, those are 1,000-man battalions. So 3,000 men per brigade. This is... Yeah, this is average. There could be more. It depends on the nation, of course. And then we have that support battalion. Which we have... So we have engineer company. Oh, this is like a support battalion, not the brigade, right? Because we have companies only. Okay. We have support artillery and engineer company. Okay. That looks good. What equipment do you use? Basically everything. It's available. And how much do you need it? Can we find it? Oh, infantry equipment 610, support equipment 30, 12 artillery pieces. That's not too much. And 6,600 men. Okay, let's train. And what's the problem? Not enough equipment to train. Yeah, well, of course. Nothing new. Current serious number of deployment in this in the line. Can I change it? Why does it say infinite? No clue. Can't change that. No idea. This is the division designer and it's used to create new or edit division templates. Oh, okay, I clicked on it by mistake, sorry. Editing or creating a new division template will cost you army experience. You have 0 of it. Army experience gained when your units are engaged in combat or are on army exercises. Units that are experience level 1 green do not generate army experience. You will need more army experience before you can create or edit a division template. Okay. Unassigned divisions, missing equipment production, unassigned divisions. There are no hints though, okay. Decisions available. Events and decisions. Events occur throughout the course of play. There are a whole range of events in the game, which can result in positive, negative and mixed outcomes for a player's country. They take the form of a pop-up notification on the player's screen, which may present player with a choice or may simply inform the player of the consequence and require they acknowledge the event has occurred. Decisions are long and or short-term goals you can strive for, making decision cost political power. Some decisions are timed and require certain conditions to be completed within a set amount of time. What's that? Italia Irredenta. The early stages of Italian irredentism triumphed with the Great War and the annexation of South Tyrol and Istria, but beyond that, the ideas of Italian unification were betrayed by the Western Allies. Under the leadership of Benito Mussolini, these ideas have resurfaced and Italy shall stand tall through the ages Viva l'Italia, Gloria al Duce. Interesting. Proclaim Greater Italy. Okay. Commander civilian trains. At most 100 trains stored in stockpile has researched that type of train. Effects when selected. 15 units of train is added to the national stockpile. Interesting. The Second Italo-Ethiopian War. The League of Nations have so far failed to take action against us, only offering symbolic opposition to our conquest of Ethiopia. However, the longer the conflict drags out and the more regular troops we commit, the greater the risk that they will actually start to meddle in our affairs. We must finish this war before Haile Selassie manages to convince the League of Nations to take action. Yeah, well, bullshit. Close it. We are at war. Oh, we are at war currently, okay. Interesting. We have 46 divisions. Are they all equipped? And 56 factories in total. Well, Ethiopia has from 5 to 22 divisions available and 4 factories only. It looks like nobody has died so far. This is the war screen. It will show you how a war is progressing. It starts at war with Ethiopia, but you do not have to worry about that right now. Proceed by looking at the other alerts. Okay, I will. Not enough manpower or equipment to fulfill our garrisons. There are garrisons? Last time I played it, I haven't seen that. Kingdom of Libya, Kingdom of Greece. Interesting. So they changed it slightly, right? In order to combat resistance and police the population, occupied states will need to be garrisoned by military troops to perform police duties. The in-game garrison represents this and can be assigned from the Occupied Territories tab in your politics screen, which is opened by clicking on your country flag in the upper left corner. Okay. The divisions needed to staff the garrisons are not visible on the map and are allocated and get their equipment automatically. The equipment allocation can be set via the Recruit and Deploy tab. Okay. Do we have any territory? Oh, we have Libya, for example. And we have a division here. Where's Libya? Kingdom of Libya. Average resistance. Well, I don't see a problem here. Oh, there is a problem. We need 5.83 divisions of Regimento di Cavalleria as garrison to protect against the current resistance. The garrison is currently 0% efficient. Current equipment ratio. Okay, Carcano M91 and current manpower 26,000 men. From Italy, reinforcements request, waiting for equipment to be produced and delivered. A lot of infantry equipment, over 3,000, 3.5. A lot of support equipment and a lot of artillery. Release nation, military governor. This law will not have its full effect until the garrison needs are fully satisfied. Okay. What's that? Local police force, reorganized workforce, volunteer program. Average compliance of all core states of Kingdom of Libya controlled by you is 35%. Okidoki. We have some islands here. Is it Rhodos? I have no idea. Rodi. It says Rodi. God, no garrison. Oh! Use default military governor. No garrison. Civilian oversight. Local police force. Secret police. Military governor. Martial law. Forced labor. Harsh quotas. Brutal oppression. Yes, they has changed. They've changed something since I've last played it. Insufficient resources now. Oh, that's a trade. This is the trade screen, and it allows you to trade your civilian factories for resources. This is a funny way to make a trade. So you trade factories, which is supposed to represent money, I guess, because yeah, there's no money per se in the game. I don't know whether I like it or not. I find it weird, but maybe it doesn't change anything. Like, what's the point of... But what's the difference between factories and the money? Technically, I can see it if you use factories to build roads, which also kind of doesn't... Well, let's say it makes sense. So you build roads, you build military factories, bunkers, bases, dockyards, and so on. And you have also factories, well, civilian factories, which are supposed to produce civilian goods, which is okay. you have some money, you of course earn, your country is getting richer and richer, or poorer, depends. And if you accumulate some money, like in, I don't know, Victoria or Europa Universalis, you're going to spend it on trade. Or you can trade some other resource for the resource you need. They made factories as trade resource, which is okay. Let's read it. Insufficient resource alert will show whenever one of your production lines does not have the required resources. Production lines will continue to produce equipment, but at reduced speed. Trade is a valid option to solve that problem. This is also somehow simplified. I think that if you don't have certain resources, you shouldn't be allowed to do anything. I think this is done this way because there could be a problem with some countries to do anything because there are no resources. On the other hand, I feel like when you don't have certain resource and you try to produce something which requires that particular resource, it's so slow that it doesn't matter too. So I would prefer that you cannot produce it, and the effect is at the end is the same as limited production capability. That's my perspective. But I'm beginner, so just saying what I see and what I feel. Do note that when you trade away your civilian factories for resources, they cannot be used to construct buildings. Yeah, and that's something I feel like they try to make it so straightforward, so people don't need to think about multiple factors, that they just decided, well, okay, let's make civilian factories money, the currency in the game. Not a huge fan. We need rubber. We can buy it from someone. We can buy it from France, for example. We have 4 convoys. Can I buy something when there are no convoys? We estimate that importing each 8 rubber will require 4 convoys. Okay. Why I cannot trade? This trade can be done by land. This is actually a good one. Who is close to us? So we could... Who has the rubber? Okay, Dutch... No. Dutch East Indies? We need... By land? Okay, so we would need to buy from Netherlands, I guess. British Malaya, same. Kingdom of Siam. No, Kingdom of Siam. Why it doesn't require convoys? There is no physical path here to that Kingdom of Siam. Where are you, by the way? I can't find him on the map. Whatever. Unless it's in... No, it's not in Africa, of course. I don't know. You can buy it from France. Would like to. Is there any bonus if we do it by land or not? No clue. We can buy from Liberia and it doesn't require any convoys? Kind of weird to me. Let's buy it from Dutch East Indies. They have a lot of it. Buy amount 8. I think I need 8 then. Or technically, what's the goal of rubber in my case? Is it for those planes? Yeah, it's for planes. We build 6 per year. It doesn't matter whether we buy that rubber or not. It's a waste of time. Seriously. Okay, I think I've done... Oh, there are objectives. Civilian factories are in use, military factories are in use. And naval doctor... Okay, so thank you for recommendations on that matter. Thank you very much. Because I need to assign one more. The problem is solved. Also those dockyard... How many I have? 4 left. This way? Beautiful. What other goals? Civilian factories are in use. I think that building military factories is the way to go now. Or maybe building more civilian factories so we can build even more military factories. That's a good question because we have about 3 years well, 3.5 year until war starts, might be a problem with military factories. Where I would like to build it? I think the mainland is the perfect choice because border kinda dangerous. They can conquer it easily. And technically we are protected by mountains. A good defense line. Amphibious assault by anyone? Well, allies landing in Sicily. Oh shit, here we go again, right? Military factory 1, civilian factory 3. We can build them here. Emilia Romagna. Oh, I want to split them, so 2 over there. Oh, now they are... Okay, we are using all of them, right? Yeah. Used factories 11. Yeah, we used all of them. Let's go! Second tutorial. Out of 15. Oh, we have also information about construction. Let me take a look at that. This is the construction screen. It is used to improve your states and provinces by constructing buildings. In the beginning of the game, it is suggested that you build civilian factories for a couple of years before starting to build military factories, or more specialized structures. By building civilian factories, you will be able to construct more buildings in the long term. I knew it. I knew it. That's why I started building military factories. Big brain moment. All 3 civilian factories will be constructing new buildings according to their order in the construction QE. The higher the state infrastructure, the faster the construction. Okay, that's good to know. Didn't know that before. Civilian factories have been highlighted for your convenience. Click it to activate build mode. When build mode is active, click on the map to QE the construction of a building. Hold shift and click to QE the maximum amount. I'm gonna change it then. Oh, there's a massive arrow. What's that? Oh, the fuck is that? Where is that construction panel? Okay, it's there. Cancel. Civilian factories. I'm gonna build 80% infrastructure and 80%. Okay, I'm gonna build one more here. One more here. Oh, I cannot. Okay, doesn't make much sense then. It will be finished on 11th April. Additional civilian factory. Okay. Close. What are the next goals? Okay, that's the second tutorial. Good. Now that the alerts are sorted out, you can start diving into the details of waging war. Italy starts at war with Ethiopia, and you should not have much difficulty in winning that war once you learn how to do it. Move your camera in the southeastward direction until you find Eritrea in Africa. I know where it is. Once your camera location has changed, select the divisions in the Eritrea state by holding down, left click and drag select. So that's this way. Change camera location to Eritrea. 18 divisions in Eritrea are selected. We have 18 divisions here? My god, there's a lot of troops. Gruppo Squadroni Spahis. There's also a British territory. There's a France territory. Holy shit. Oh, Somalia also belongs to us. Well, Black Hawk down. That's what I know about Somalia. Okay. No clue for how long I've been recording. I haven't turned on my timer. But I think we'll stop here. So we went through very basic stuff. Actually, it's not that much complicated. At least that's how it feels. In Victoria 3 it's way worse. That's for sure. So the basic stuff like production, buildings, what else? National focus and so on. Researches. Yeah, so base economy, I believe. And that's where we will stop. So in the next video we will start with warfare. So bread and butter of that game, I believe, based on how Paradox develops their games and releases them, and what they are consistent of. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you in the next one where we will conquer that mighty country called Ethiopia. Actually, it says Ethiopian Highlands. I don't know why it's that. Okay, so it gives the names of regions, not countries. I think we can turn the countries though. Supply map mode, terrain map mode, resistance map mode, compliance, resources, military rates, factions map mode. Look at that. Welcoming Ethiopia now. That's it. That's where we are going to fight. We are going to conquer Addis Ababa, which is the capital. Okay, once again, thank you and see you next time. Goodbye.